WNEP proudly presents the premier outdoor show in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, your window to the great outdoors. Tonight on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life,
we'll explore a natural wonder both above and below the ground. This trip includes some pretty unusual guests and scenery.
Put on your hiking boots. Pennsylvania Outdoor Life starts right now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. I'm Don Jacobs. Standing with me is a younger, better-looking Ken Hunter. Ken, where did the years go? Actually, you know this guy. He's field staff member Bob Hawkins. Bob, thanks for joining us. Ken is on vacation. I mean, some of us get a vacation every now and then. What do you think, man? Last weekend of June, first weekend of summer, lots to do.
I can't believe we're here already. This is actually a great time of the year to be out in the woods, Jake. You know, myself, I have both kids out in nature camp up in Bear Creek. They have a great day camp for kids. Kids are out, they're in the woods. Great time to be out there because they're coming home with a lot of little critters, turtles and salamanders and frogs and all kinds of stuff. And I just got a great big aquarium home full of that type of stuff.
Learning everything they can about the great outdoors. It is a good time, but the key is you got to get up and do something about it. You got to make an effort right now to get out and enjoy, let's say, a nature walk. If you live in Wilkes-Barre, there's an incredible natural area right on the other side of the bridge from downtown Wilkes-Barre. It's called the Kirby Park Natural Area. Our guide for this nature hike is Rick Koval.
We're at Kirby Nesbitt Park area, kind of alongside the river, on the west side of the river. We're in this semi-old growth forest, and we're going to take a walk and discover the miracle of bird migration. This is an oasis for migratory birds. As they're proceeding northward to their breeding grounds, they're traveling past cities, but they're using this river as a corridor. And they see Wilkes-Barre on all these concrete buildings on the left side of us, on the east side of the river. They have this oasis of 90 acres of old growth forest, tall trees, diversity, levels, plenty of insects for them. It's an oasis, it's an resting area. It's remarkable. Over 200 bird species have been found here. It's very leafed out now. The trees are in full leaf, but we're going to hear a lot of vocalizations. There's an indigo bunting singing right now above us, catbird, yellow warblers, white-breasted nuthatches saying. You can just stand still and you can maybe hear 30 bird species singing.
If you know what they sound like.
If you know what they sound like. Unfortunately, they're hard to see, but it's a challenge to the novice birders. The more experienced birders, it's a challenge also for your vocalizations to try to find them by vocalizations and not by sight.
Here we've got jewelweed coming up.
This is all jewelweed?
All jewelweed, and this stuff will get waist high or even higher, yellow flower later in the season. It's called Touch Me Not because when you touch it, it will shoot its flowers. It's an annual that'll just spread its flowers, and it's kind of like a projectile that'll just shoot out of that yellow flower, that seed pod.
The reason why it's called jewelweed, look at the beads of the water on here, and they kind of hold on it, and it looks like jewels.
Wow.
And it is very succulent. If you take a section of that, that's what you're looking for.
To rub on your...
To rub on you. Mosquito bite, actually, I got one on the side of my head there.
It is edible, too, isn't it?
Yeah. It's in the impatient family.
You'll find it very shade tolerant.
That's the poison ivy remedy that the Indians were talking about, huh?
And it is proven. Yeah. There is medicinal qualities. Yeah. This is a native wildflower. It's called meadow parsnip. That's found in riparian forest areas, shaded areas. And that's as bright as it gets. That's as big as the flower gets.
Indigenous to Pennsylvania?
The Northeast United States, yeah. So this big fellow here, this is called cow parsnip. It's a river floodplain plant. It gets like a greenish white flower a little later in the year.
The big bulb,
that big bulb, and that's one characteristic, how to tell how that plant from other plants. That looks like it's a
cow parsnip.
Cow parsnip. Why that is called cow parsnip, I don't know.
Let's find some salamanders. Let's find something cool to look at.
All right, we'll try to look for some redback salamanders. We're going to look under some cover objects. Probably on this side over here. That's pretty good. Yeah, we're going to go. I'll turn some cover logs over here. What we're doing, we're looking for redback salamanders, a very abundant salamander found in this floodplain. This is a redback salamander. It's kind of a young one.
They get a little bit bigger than that,
They get
don't they?
about the size of my finger, maybe about 3 to 4 inches long. They're not a lizard, they're a salamander. And what's unique about this salamander is most amphibians need wetlands to lay their eggs. This particular species is in the plethodon species, and they lay their eggs right in damp soils under logs. And the whole egg process, the development of the larva, happens inside the egg. It's like the man in the bubble.
Okay.
And then when they emerge, they're little replicas of what this is. They eat a lot of isopods, little inverts, all types of insects, so they're very beneficial. But they need damp forest. They need log covers. They need substrates.
What do we have here?
This is okay. This is good. Now, Don, what you have here is, it's called this is a redback salamander. It doesn't have a red back, but this is the leadback species, the variety of it. The Latin name for this is Plethodon cinereus, meaning ash-colored. But for this particular reason, and it's kind of unique to the northern states, that it gets this leadback color. This is an adult size. I bet this one's about 15 to 20 years old.
Is that right?
Yes. This is as big as they get. Some of them have all red stripes on them. Some of them have like a silver stripe on them.
So that is really a redback, but it happens to be
This is
gray.
the melanistic variety of this. When you look for salamanders, it's a great thing for a child's experience and adults. Don't put the log salamander down and let the log roll back on it. You always want to put it near it, and it's going to find its way back.
It'll go back in.
It'll find its way back, yeah. What we got here is an American toad. And this is a male toad. See what he's doing now? I'm not hurting him. That's called a release call. When they go to their breeding pools, which would be the edges of the river here and some of the vernal pools here, since they're both ugly, the male and the female are just as ugly. They don't know one from another. As the male grabs on top of the female, he hangs, kind of piggyback rides her. And if the male grabs another male, they do this release call. It actually vibrates and it says, get off, back off.
And thank you, Rick Koval from the North Branch Land Trust, Vinnie Catrone from the Penn State Cooperative Extension, Holly Frederick from the Pennsylvania Environmental Council, all these people involved in getting that natural area what it is today. How about that?
I tell you what, that's one of those little things that's in your backyard, a little gem that you just don't know is there, and you wonder how many more of those places are out there.
They're probably out there.
I'm sure they are.
We're going to find them. We'll show them to you now. Now that you've watched that story, is there any of these trees you could identify?
There's quite a few.
Actually, I think that they're all trees with leaves.
Yeah.
There. Now, if you would like a guided tour of the Kirby Park natural area, here's how you do it. You simply check out the River Parks Committee by calling them at 570-826-1108, and they will set up a guided tour for you. We are going to take a short break, but when we come back, we have another special guest here on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. Don Jacobs, and sitting in for a vacationing Ken hunter, Bob Hawkins. You're a little bit more in your element here than you are, let's say, in an archery range or something.
Definitely.
This is your thing, isn't it?
This is my equipment here, yeah. Rather than a bow and arrow, I'd be in the boat.
Are you considering yourself competitive? Do you always strive to be like the best in a tournament?
Of course, you always try to. I mean, all through my whole life, no matter what sports I was playing, I always wanted to be the best. I think you feel the same, right?
Yeah.
Playing football, whatever you may have been doing, but getting to that level is a different story, okay? You can try all you want. I can't imagine the practice that's involved to get to the next level.
To the next level being a world record, a national competition, the Olympics, right?
Olympic trial of some type, correct?
Yeah, well, we've got a person that we've been following through since she was just about this big. Marley Bogomil is a local archer who has accomplished incredible things. She's going to be joining us after we take a little look at some of the history behind Marley Bogomil. Marley Bogomil has been shooting a bow since early childhood. We first saw her on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life in 1996 with a compound bow in her hand. In 1997, she appeared as a state compound bow champion on the show. Since that time, she has switched from a compound to a recurve and is now on her way for a crack at the Olympics in Greece. We met up with her earlier this year as she practiced for the Indoor Nationals at the Riverside Archery Range in Wyoming. Are they all the same kind of competition? The location changes? Do you meet the same people now? Is it getting down to that?
It's mostly the same people. You kind of see the same people over and over, and you really get used to the format. It's a lot of 70-meter shooting this year. It's mostly all 70 meters because for the Olympics it's all 70. So they changed the formats for all the tournaments to kind of get everybody into the Olympic mode. So it's really exciting.
Do you mentally shoot any differently? Is there something that you have to say to yourself? Because this is the Olympic trials now. How do you prepare for that?
I try to pretend that I'm either back home or somewhere I'm completely and totally comfortable, just doing my own thing and kind of try and forget where you are a little bit. But then it's funny because when you're at home, you try to pretend you're there and get yourself nervous so you know how to react.
We met up with Marley at the Pittston Area High School where she finished her senior year. Except for a friendly t-shirt reminder, she tried to keep a low profile.
I try to be just Marley at school. I don't really act any different than I would at home. It's just I'm Marley at school and then I'm archery Marley after school. I made honors with distinction this quarter and we're in the National Honor Society, so it's going well.
So you're proving basically the old saying that the more you do, the better you do. People that sit around and do nothing have a hard time excelling, and you sound like you're busy all the time.
I like to stay busy and stay fit. I feel like it's really important to stay mentally and physically fit, and it really helps me out just to be well-rounded as a person with everything really, in school and with archery.
Does it ever have a downside? You smile too much. There's got to be a downside. Does it ever have a downside?
It does. When my friends are going to parties or prom or dances and football games, it kind of makes you go, wow, I kind of wish I was a normal kid. But then you kind of look around and say, okay, well, I'm going to Arizona and I get to go to all these different countries and everything, and I just have so much that I really don't think I could ever give it up to be a normal kid. After school, while most seniors were making plans for the weekend and high school-aged fun, Marley keeps her mind on the targets she has set. I practice almost every day of the week. Sometimes I miss a day here or there, plus whatever cardio and whatever mental training we do every day. We went to Arizona for the Arizona Cup, and I qualified really high, and my elims weren't as good as I qualified, but just qualifying that high proved to everybody that, hey, this girl's from the East Coast, she hasn't had the outdoor practice, she doesn't have she's kind of thrown into it out here, and it's nice out here, and we're shooting 77 meters. She's used to 20 yards, and she's coming out here, she's beating all the West Coast people, so that really put things into perspective for everybody.
So how many times do you go back and forth doing this?
Enough for 300 arrows a day, and I shoot about 18 arrows an end, so.
Well, this is enough exercise to keep you.
You would think, but I still have to run 4 days a week. Sure. Take me out here, cold turkey, film all my arrows.
You know, we didn't even give you a chance to warm up, but tell me right now, what's the scoring system here? What is this?
It's yucky.
Okay.
Well, these three are 10s, because they're in this black ring here.
Okay.
The X's are just for tiebreakers primarily. They just put it there for fun, really. This whole thing is a 9 ring.
Okay.
And then the first red is an 8, 7, 6, 5, and it keeps going all the way out.
Okay. And how many do you throw in each competition at one arrow at any given time?
We shoot 6 arrows at a time, so it's out of a potential 60. A good score for a recurve shooter is really anything over 50, so you can shoot
A couple 8s?
Couple 8s, not that many. Ideally, you should really be able to keep them in the red ring. I mean, you're allowed to fly a 7 every now and then, but ideally, you should be able to keep them in the 8 ring.
10, 9, 8.
Yep.
And that's 7.
Yeah, those should be your flyers.
Wow. Well, you'll do better this time, though.
Oh yeah,
You're
well, that was
warmed
a little cold turkey. It makes me so happy just to know that I can really do this, and that the harder I work, the closer I'm getting to my dreams, accomplishing my goals. As long as that's in my mind, it always just makes me want to get up and shoot. I would love to thank all of my sponsors, Alpin, the Bow Clinic, and my parents are a huge sponsor. I can't thank people enough for just letting me shoot at their shops and just hang out at the shop and practice as much as I can.
Marley now joins us out here in the backyard of the Pennsylvania Outdoor Life cabin. Marley, lots have changed. You're 18, you're a high school graduate now. Tell me, what have you been doing? What was the last thing that you went through here?
Well, we just came back not all that long ago from the Olympic trials out in Ohio.
And what happened? Did you make the team?
No, I didn't get the team this year, but I'm not going to quit, and we're going to keep working towards 2008 or 2012, whatever is going on now then.
So 18, you change actually where you shoot, don't you? You throw out everything and you start from scratch. What happens?
Well, I've been shooting in the women's division a lot, even though I was under 18, just because I was competitive with them and I could make their world teams and that kind of thing. But now that I am 18, I don't even have the choice for junior world records or anything like that. So I lose a lot of the tournaments that have the JOAT program in them because they're the under 18 tournaments. But I also pick up a lot of tournaments now because now I have to shoot everything in the women's division.
Amazing.
Yeah. Marley, tell me, I know there's numerous people out there who just got done watching that story. They're sitting home and they say, you know what? That's what I want to do. Do you recommend they take that same path that you did?
Archery is really great. You get to meet a lot of really wonderful people, and everybody is so sweet. There's a ton of ranges. This area is just full of archers, and everyone is so sweet. Honestly, archery is a really good path to start, even if you just want to hunt or if you're just looking for some downtime or even even a hobby. It's really fun.
All right, so now I have to ask you. Well, while most of us are planning big fishing trips, family camping, family vacations, you're going right back into it. You're going to start practicing. What's your first tournament?
Well, we have the Nationals. It's at the end of July, so I have a lot of downtime between now and then.
Downtime? I don't consider that downtime. I'm sorry.
Well, a couple of weeks is a lot of downtime for me, but it's really driving me crazy that I have so much spare time right now. I just don't know what to do with myself.
And then you start school?
Yeah, I start school the day after I finish Nationals.
Wow. Excellent. Well, good luck. You're going to stick around, right?
Sure.
All right, we're going to have some fun with Marley and Bob because we're going to actually go from archery to a little bit of casting lessons right here from the backyard. So we'll be right back with more of Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. You know, we are changing gears here. Well, so far we've talked about nature hikes, we've talked about archery, and now we're going to talk a little bit more about fishing. And Bob, right now, somebody wants to get out and do some bass fishing. What kind of lures would you recommend? What do we have here?
One of the biggest lures out there right now are these jigs, and these are jigs that we're going to give away at the end of the show today. They come to us from Bob's Bugs down in Ashley, and I think the most important thing about anything you pull off the shelf is, in my eyes, is the modification you make to the lure, okay? These jigs here, what I'm trying to imitate 9 times out of 10 is a crawfish, okay? So you can see I can buy this jig, and I've got a slew of different trailers I may want to put on at that time. The one I've selected right here has a little bit of orange in it, a little bit of green. I want to feed that up over the hook.
Now by trailer, you mean something you're just adding to the hook?
I'm adding it to the hook, and it gives it a whole different look, of course, okay? And
now, don't you think that's too big?
No, I don't think it's too big.
Don't you think that's too big and ugly?
No, I actually want Marley to dig in there.
That catches fish?
This catches fish. I want to see what she pulls out of there because you'll see that I don't think this is too big at all.
So every waterway that you go to will have what you have there?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much you will. And this is what I'm trying to imitate is this crawfish. And you can tell he's not real happy right now.
Right.
But the key is, you'll see on these jigs, I've got a lot of different colors and sizes and shapes. And I'm just trying to show you here that these right here have, one's a little darker than the other. Each waterway, these crawfish will have a different color to them, okay? So it's important, actually we got a little fight going on here. It's important that you get out to the waterway that you anticipate fishing on it and you'll see what's out there, see what color these crawfish are. They do change colors, they go through a mating season, they molt. Sometimes they take on that bluish tint, maybe a purplish.
Oh,
see a lot of orange on some.
And it likes to eat rubber
and
too.
He's eating the plastic trailer.
Bob, before we did the segment, you told me that what you do is actually go in and catch a crayfish, so
yeah,
you know the colors?
Similar to what I did here, I just went out, this is somewhere I'm going to be fishing this weekend. I'm able to pick these things up, just dig under rocks, get in the water, see what these things look like, okay, prior to you getting on the waterway. That way, when I go out, I know exactly what colors I may want to throw.
Okay, so now you know what bait. I'll play with these. Yeah. What are you going to do? How are you going to get it in front of the fish?
Well,
why don't you show Marley?
The presentation is just
Marley
as important,
here, you're getting
of
a
course.
lesson now.
Marley's really good with the bow, and now I want to test her on fishing. We'll see how she can do like a little bit of...
Okay, so what is this? This is one of the ways you would present
This is one of the ways. Yeah, a lot of times when I'm fishing with these crawfish, I'm fishing on maybe some rock shorelines, something of that nature, and I want to present the lure in a real quiet fashion because, you know, I don't want to spook any of the fish out. We're fishing some shallow rock stuff like that.
Okay, so what are you going to do?
One thing we like to do is what we call pitching, okay? And in order to pitch, what we want to do is we want to be able to drop some line out so that I'm able to grab with my opposite hand the lure.
Okay.
Okay, similar to this. Bring it down. I'm going to flip the bale and hold the line with my finger. I don't want to let that line just slide out with the lower in the other hand. Got it?
Yep.
Okay. What I want to do now is be able to present that lure, like I said, as quietly as possible, right in front of my target. Okay. Look at the target we have. I've never caught anything like that my whole life.
Oh, I've tons of those mounted on my wall.
I'm not sure I'd even get them in the live
That's
well.
a Pennsylvania whale, right?
Is that what that
shark.
is?
Yeah, that's
Pennsylvania.
And all I want to do is I want to present this lure in front of my target, okay?
Go ahead.
I'm fishing right there. A lot of times you can sway this thing back and forth, a little pendulum action, drop it right in front. Boom.
How do you like that?
Okay.
Now, what do you accomplish by not just whacking at it?
I scare him, spook him out, he swims away. You know, if I have an overhand cast, it might be a big splash. This way I can present the lure in a quiet fashion.
Go ahead, Marley.
I challenge Marley. I know
Go ahead, Marley.
she's really good with that bow.
Wow, not bad.
She could be on the boat with me.
Not bad. Other advantages to using this? You're not hitting people with lures in your head and
Exactly.
stuff like that?
A lot of times when I'm on the boat and you have a partner, and you know, a lot of times you're swinging back and you hear that lure whiz by your head. That's kind of a scary
Right.
thought. You don't want to get those treble hooks buried in the back of your head.
Well, you keep practicing.
Okay.
And you practice, although you don't need the practice. I'm going to hold these crayfish for a couple more seconds, put them away. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up here on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. Come on, Marley, you can do better than that.
Oh, my first one was good. I was proud.
Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. You know, we've reached my favorite segment of the show, and that is the product giveaway. What we are giving away today are the
But you don't get
lures.
to keep these. You have to give them away.
I have to give them away. We have a dozen lures here that, you're right, I'd rather put in my tackle box and keep, but these come to me from Bob Primus down in Ashley. Bob's Bugs. Where else can you get these? We can get them at RJ Marine in Wilkes-Barre, the Big Barn Bait and Tackle up in Slocum, PA, and also the One Stop Sports Shop right here in Scranton.
All right. And Marley, I promised, but I'm not going to keep my promise. I'm going to ask you to read the name on the card. I know you.
It better be an easy one.
I'll even pick it. There you go. Who's the winner of those beautiful things? That's easy.
Chad Schaefer.
Very good. Where's he from?
Oh, Pennsylvania.
Slatington.
Slatington.
Pennsylvania. Congratulations, Chad. Marley, good luck in the rest of your tournaments.
Thank you.
And take a little downtime. You know,
Relax.
you need to be, you need to relax.
Take me fishing.
There you go.
There you go. You guys go fishing.
Perfect.
Well, I tell you what, for Bob Hawkins and the Vacationing Ken Hunter and Marley and everybody here at Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, we wish you the very best in the great outdoors. Take care now.
Pennsylvania Outdoor Life is a local presentation of WNEP TV. We're proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania.